All right, folks, I'm going to continue on our discussion about neurons, and now we are going to move forward to neural communication. A lot of students find neural communication kind of confusing, so what I'm going to do is kind of walk you through it so you get a basic kind of conceptual understanding about how this communication takes place between neurons and in your nervous system. You may recall from the previous video that the little branching structures here are called dendrites. Here's your cell body. You have the axon coming down and branching off and going to these areas called terminal buttons. When a terminal button connects onto another neuron, wherever that may be, here it's on another dendrite of a receiving neuron, this is called a synapse. Synapse just means junction point. Let's get you familiar with a few other terms. So up here we have the presynaptic neuron. Pre means before. Synapse. So this means before the synapse. And down here we have the postsynaptic neuron. Post means after, or after the synapse. So this description of these neurons is in reference to the synapse. You have the presynaptic neuron that's sending the message, and you have the postsynaptic neuron that's receiving the message. Here, this is the presynaptic neuron, this is the postsynaptic neuron. Up here, this is the presynaptic neuron up at the top, and this is the postsynaptic neuron, the one receiving the message. The message is coming down in this direction. So that is just something to note, that presynaptic means before and post after, but this is only in reference to a particular synapse. In a neuron, communication is electrical within the neuron. So what happens is that the neuron makes a decision, the cell body makes a decision if it's going to send the message or not. So you can imagine if you're sitting in a classroom and you have half the students shouting at you, "Send the message, pass it on, come on, do it, do it, do it." And then you have the other half the students shouting out you, "Don't do anything, just sit pretty, just sit still, don't send any messages, don't say a word, just sit there." So you have kind of these competing messages that are coming into a neuron. Where are they coming from? They're coming from the neurons that are sending the message onto this main neuron. So you may recall that a neuron can get 1,000 or more messages from other neurons. So it can have all these synapses all over it. It's getting all these messages all the time. And just like you or I, if we're being shouted at by a bunch of people, we kind of get overwhelmed and we don't do much until one of the messages is clearer and louder and stronger. And when that happens, then we follow that message. So if the message that becomes clearer and louder and stronger is "don't do it, don't send the message," then we don't send it. We don't send the message onto the other neurons that we are connected to. But if the message that says, "Come on, do it, do it, do it," is really, really loud, then we will respond to that. And the neuron is just that way. It's getting excitatory messages from some neurons, "Do it, send it," and it's getting inhibitory messages from some neurons that have synapses with it. "Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it." When finally this is kind of when finally the neuron's message becomes loud enough, like, "Hey, send it," then it will initiate an electrical impulse starting at the axon hillock, and it will shoot that down the axon very, very quickly. Communication is extremely rapid, fraction of a second. It will send this electrical impulse down, down, down. The electrical impulse will divide up to go towards each of these terminal buttons. It won't diminish in strength as it does that. It'll come down, and when it gets to the synapse, then it will start sending its message and telling this neuron what to do. And it will be one of many neurons that are telling that neuron what to do. So the resting potential is just the neuron at rest, doing nothing, sitting around, trying to decide about these messages it's receiving. The threshold of excitation is at the point at which the neuron gets that message very clearly that it should get excited and shoot off a message, fire off a message. So again, it's having these competing messages, send the message, don't send the message, and as soon as the message gets loud enough to tell it, send the message, then it actually will reach the threshold of excitation, enough stimulation to say do it, and then it will initiate what is called the action potential. And the action potential is just the fancy term that describes this firing of the electrical message down the axon. This action potential is an all or none reaction. It either happens or it doesn't. It's like firing a gun. You can't half or partially fire a gun. You either fire it or you don't. You start to pull the trigger's coming back, it's coming back, it's coming back, it's coming back, and then you fire it. And that's it. The message goes just like the firing of a gun. It either goes or it doesn't every single time. And it's the same strength when it fires, just like a gun. You can't like soft shoot a gun, you just shoot it and it goes. So this neuron is similar in that way. When the message comes down to the synapse, what you get is a change. You have electrical communication inside the neuron, and then when it gets to the synapse, it changes and it becomes chemical communication. And that is why a neuron is said to have electrochemical communication. It has both electric within the neuron and chemical between the neuron. We're going to stop here. I'll pick up on another video on the next portion.